Created by James Mitchell. No More Games. Written and read by Craig W. Braddock. Chapter 4. Lonely sat in Callan's living room, his lips still quivering. The smell emanating from him was one for the ages. Soiled underwear, old sweat, stale cum, and just a hint of Old Spice that had long ago been overpowered. Keeping his nose as close to his glass of scotch as possible, Callan sat opposite Lonely. "So where's Nicholas?" "I dunno, Mr. Callan. He sees that girl, you know, that lady of ill repute." Lonely's attempt at using decent language would have been funny any other time. "Mears says you know where he is. I've got to kill Nicholas, and you, old son, are going to help me." "Mr. Callan, no! No, I can't! Mears will kill me, Mr. Callan, if I help you. Mears said, if you don't help Mr. Callan, then I will kill you." "You dozy tosser! That means you must help me or he will kill you. And if you don't help me, more to the point, I will bloody well kill you. God, you're an idiot, Lonely." For some reason, this insult actually improved Lonely's demeanour. "He lives in Enfield, Mr. Callan. You know, on the outskirts, near the Greenbelt, near that new road, the M25. Where's this prostitute Nicholas and Mears were seeing?" 484 Aggerston Road, Mr. Callan. She works in a flat. I ain't been inside, Mr. Callan, but I climbed up and had a look through the window." "You dirty old bastard!" For the first time in a few days, Callan smiled. "Well, she was blonde, but you know, Mr. Callan, her women's area, her pubics, they were as black as the ace of spades, Mr. Callan. She had quite big bristles, too." "So I'm looking for a blonde hooker with a black hairy bush and big tits. Good, that narrows it down. Now listen, Lonely, I have 20 grand in my safe. You get 4K plus expenses, but you touch that money and your dirty little neck will snap very easily." Callan stood up and straightened his slight stoop into a guardsman's posture. Taking £500 in a wad of 20s from his pocket, he threw it into Lonely's lap. Lonely's hands scrambled around like delirious rats to place the money together in a neat bundle. "You can keep here tonight. In the morning you'd need to get 2 brand new sets of clothing, the strongest soap and shampoo known to man, but more importantly, one of those new 357 IMI Desert Eagles, 2 boxes of ammo, and a shoulder holster. Oh, and by 1 p.m. "Mr. Callan!" The tone of shock at this impossible request was hard to ignore. "Where am I going to find hardware like that?" Callan looks down at his feet, looks up, and gave Lonely a wink. "Well, it just so happens there was exactly that in Mears' desk drawer." "No!" screamed Lonely. "Yes," mocked Callan. The following morning, all that remained of Lonely was an oily sweat stain on the arm of a chair, and Callan, dressed in a dark green tweed suit with a plain royal blue shirt and grey tie, left the Caledonian Road under cloudy skies. 35 minutes later, he crossed over the road opposite Liverpool Street Station and waited for the number 25 bus to get him to the Hackney Road. Callan had a curious regard for prostitutes and tried to piece together some of his experiences. In reality, it had been many years, maybe 8 or 9, since he had any kind of sexual relations. A short while later, Callan found he was going upstairs in a block of flats. The light bulbs were pink, blue, green, and appropriately at the top, red. Callan went into what was obviously the lounge and found it odd there was no receptionist. The interior was nicely decorated, very modern, clean, not dingy at all. A girl came out, more or less matching Lonely's description. Her boobs, pressed together by a tight bra, pulsated invitingly at Callan, and he took more than a moment to watch their ample qualities. Looking down, she wore yellow panties, but left little to the imagination. "Hi, I'm Mandy." Mandy was genuinely young, not too young, mind, somewhere in that age range where she was a woman, but still had a rather youthful zest about her. Callan looked down her arms and legs. No tram lines, and perhaps more significantly, no signs of bruising. Her skin had that very pale quality, reminiscent of red-headed Irish women, but clearly her blonde hair came from a jar. £50 changed hands, and a few minutes later Callan was undressed, face down, on a massage table. Mandy came in and lit a candle. She stood at the head of the massage table with her panties practically in Callan's face. She began massaging his neck and shoulders. Leaning over him, Callan could feel her breasts on his forehead, and he pushed his back up and pressed into her very firm cleavage. Mandy unhooked her bra, and the full force of her tits bounced into Callan's face. For now, he was just a man. All that mattered was hammering her into the middle of next week. Removing her panties, Mandy climbed aboard the table and sat on Callan's back, massaging her labia against his spine. With one hand, she started playing with her clit and rocking back and forth. Callan could feel her juices splash over him. She leaned over again, kissed the back of his neck, and put her tongue in his ear. This caused his whole body to shudder, and for him to arch his whole body upwards before thrusting powerfully into the table. Mandy held on for dear life, and actually wondered for a second what that would be like if he was facing upwards. He felt Mandy rock back a little more than usual. But this time, his whole body stiffened in fear, as the unmistakable chill of a gun barrel pressed into his neck. "Well, Mr. Callan, are you enjoying yourself?"